I'll be republishing this anyway. So welcome everyone. I'm your podcast host, The Zenith, in case anyone is completely unaware from that. I'm completely not in disguise. So welcome everyone. I'm here with Dr. T. Dr. T, amazing person. Dr. T is a human engineer. Dr. T is a teacher. He's a natural born storyteller. Dr. T heals with quantum physics. He uses angels. He uses focus and tension. He is a trained chiropractor. He is a trained therapist. He has restored the health of literally thousands upon thousands of humans and animals, all within the space of minutes, if not seconds, sometimes longer than that. But it is absolutely phenomenal, the work that he's doing. And it is my absolute pleasure to bring him on to be your humble host and to have him on as a guest today. Dr. T, very, very warm welcome to the show.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Great to be here.
Yeah, likewise too, as we were just talking about before the show, just kind of listening to some of your work, it's just been absolutely inspiring, that the message that you're bringing, just the words that you kind of know, I guess. It's easy to say this about every guest that you have on, or it's easy to say this about every kind of show that you've been on, but just some people really click with you. When you listen to their voice, you get that sense of genuineness that comes across in them, because I guess in this kind of line of work, it can be kind of hard to have an ego, or not kind of hard. It can be very easy to fall into that ego trap, especially when you're someone in your position who's healed thousands of people, and people are literally potentially throwing bouquets at your feet, bowing down to you, and it can be very hard to have an ego. But I guess listening to you, who have, and some of your work that you've been doing very recently, after 20 years of doing this kind of work, to me, it still seems like you've very much your feet on the ground, and you're still very humble to be doing this kind of work.
Well, absolutely. For me getting into it, I was in extreme pain. I was in suicidal level pain. That's how bad it was, and it was like that for years. And I found a guy who, I literally had planned out. I was like, okay, I'm done. I can't live like this. And I had a girlfriend at the time who wanted to become a doctor, and I think I was herding goats at the time, and we were going camping, and she wanted to go to a health fair. So we get to the health fair, and I'm like, oh my God, I know everyone in here. I've been treated by every one of these people. And so we're walking around. There was one guy behind a curtain, and he was doing something different. And I was immediately drawn to him. I was like, okay, there's something he's doing that's different. And sure enough, I got behind the curtain. I put my name on the list. I got behind the curtain, and I held my hand up to do muscle testing. He's like, hey, what's going on? You don't need muscle testing. I said, I'm just in so much pain. I can't even think. I can't feel my feet. I pee my pants. I'm 27 years old, and life is hell for me. And he said he just like pushed a couple of spots on me, and he put me on my side. He dug through my stomach lining, reached deep inside my viscera, deeper than anyone ever has done before. And he said, "Now move your leg." I pulled my leg back. We stopped. He said, "Okay, get up and go for a walk." And that was one of the first times I actually saw an angel. I mean, at least in my mind, it looked like a really bright light, because it was a relief I just couldn't believe. And I floated around that place as Dr. Victor. I can't remember his last name for the life of me. Dr. Victor, wherever you are on the planet, thank you so much, because he helped me, and he inspired me to get into healing. He said, I've known you for 4 months. You've had 10 jobs. The only thing you'll never figure out is the human body. And so that's where I started this journey, was by getting help. And what he did to me, I've seen 1 or 2 other times in 25 years. It's not very common. It was the multifidii muscles locking down the autonomic chain for any doctors out there that want to know what was happening. And no one would get in that far to grab a hold of them and just shake them. And that's kind of all you do for when you see this sort of this level of pain. But anyhow, that started my journey. And, it's just been, it's just amazing to wake up and to be able to help people. I mean, everybody likes to help people.
Well, not everyone, but we'll not get it.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right.
I think it's, when you've been through a kind of life like yours and received so much help, for most of us, it's natural then to want to give back, to experience angels, to experience that kind of angelic presence, or whatever you want to call them, those beings in the higher realms, and to feel the love and to feel the compassion, to feel the gentle touch of them. And it's just, sometimes it's just pure bliss, you know. And I guess you want everyone to feel that. You want everyone to share in that. But I'm kind of wondering, because I didn't know that was your first experience of, you know, what's the word for it? I don't want to use experience because I've just used that word before, but I can't think of anything better. So yeah, first interaction or first experience of one of those angels. As far back as that, because you hadn't actually started your healing journey and you hadn't actually started working with the angels. And as far as I'm aware, you were still kind of very much tied to the farm or whatever at that stage, because you grew up on a farm.
Yeah. I was a police and fire dispatcher, 911 operator. And I moved to this town called Santa Cruz, California. And I was just bored out of my mind. I went from Los Angeles to Santa Cruz. I really wanted to become a professional disc golfer. I just wasn't good enough. That's why I moved to Santa Cruz. People are saying, why did you move to Santa Cruz? Why did you quit this great job? Well, I get to Santa Cruz. I'm just bored out of my mind. I was just bored. I mean, there's no crime. There's no shootings. I mean, it was so boring. I was like, oh my God, this is just, what am I going to do? And so I finally just quit. And everyone's like, there's no jobs in Santa Cruz. What do you think? Are you crazy? I said, well, yeah, I'm a little crazy. And so I got a job. I was herding goats, is what I was doing. And I had done a couple other things right after I got that release. I went and saw this chiropractor a couple of times, and he was like, look, this is just muscle work. This is all this was. This is muscle work. You could go get your massage certificate and you could learn this work. You don't have to be a doctor to do this. And so he inspired me. So I did. I started there, and I built a practice in Santa Cruz, treating mostly athletes with this advanced muscle work. And I just got tired of people coming in and telling me, I mean, I don't know. There's a couple things happen. You know, yes, ego. Yeah, people come in and be like, "Hey, my doctor says I got to still see him all the time, even though you're the one who helped me. My doctor says I got to keep seeing him." Blah blah. I'm just like, oh God, some of these doctors, get you hooked like morphine, or heroin, for Christ's sakes. And then I had a couple other things happen. I had another experience. I slipped and fell and broke my leg in 2 places playing disc golf. Now, how do you do that? That's the universe. It had to be rebroken 3 more times. The third time they operated on it, put screws in it. I still have those screws. And it was after this that I was recovering at home in my place in Santa Cruz that it came into my mind that you are going to get up from here. You're going to look for schools, and you're going to schools, or you're not going to be on this planet much longer.
That was that voice coming to you, wasn't it? It wasn't just your own thought process. It was that voice which comes almost
very clear. You're going to go to school, or you're done. I mean, it's just as loud and clear as you and I are talking. I've only repeated this once or twice, but it's true. It's true. That's what happened. It was, you're going to school. We're going to kill you. You better wake up. How do you break a bone in 2 places? It's called a compound fracture on an acorn when you were practicing to be a professional disc golfer. And I mean, it was just like someone took a stick and broke it. And when I got to because I was broke at the time, I didn't have any insurance at the time. I got to the doctor, and he says, so let me guess, high-speed motorcycle accident, you hit a curb. I said, no. He said, you swung a sledgehammer trying to split a log and missed it and hit your ankle. I said, no. He said, I mean, he had like 4 things. He was like 75-year-old retired doctor who worked on homeless people, basically. And I said, nope, I slipped and fell on an acorn. He said, that is absolutely impossible. That is absolutely impossible. This is 1 in 30 million fractures. I said, that's what I did. He said, well, God's got something in store for you, because you probably won't be able to get it operated on, because they only operate on people who are dying. So we're going to re-break it here right now. And I'm going to mold it in a cast really well, so that in case you don't get in for surgery, you're not stuck with, I mean, it might heal normal, is what he said. So he did. And it was really kind of cool looking back. He numbed an external nerve with Novocaine, and then he took my leg and put it on 2 little bars and broke it. And then molded it. It was pretty painful, but he did a really good job. And I did have the surgery, but it was 4 weeks later. So I have a leg that was broken 3 times and still has 2 screws in it. So you kind of learn a lot about healing when you go through that kind of thing. You learn a lot about how to take care of your, different methods of working on it to fix it. A lot of the things I've come up with, I've had to fix them myself over the years. So
yeah, it's pretty incredible. That is that the doctor that was potentially going to have to take a vein or something from your leg and a piece of bone. I was listening to that, and
yeah, that's a different. That was a little further down the road from that time. Yeah, it was a little bit different, a little further down the road. But I would already started my investigation into schools and colleges, but I had a broken leg. I couldn't walk, so I had to start. I started with a single class, is what happened. And then it was during that time that I had broken my wrist. I've had a few weird things happen. And yeah, and I was driving home from the from the orthopedic surgeon, and there was the yard sale, and there was a box. I was leaving. The lamp I looked at was junk, so I was leaving, and I noticed in this box was this book of how to heal yourself with hypnosis. And I took that book home. I made a recording of it. I just started listening to it, and 10 days later, that navicular bone is 100% healed when I went back to see him. So that started. I can't remember which one came first. That may have come first, and then I broke my leg second. That may be how the story, the chronological order of it. That might be because I remember. Well, that's what got me into the mind. That experience is what really turned my mind onto holy smoly, this mind power. I had quit smoking years before doing hypnosis in a large group, which I thought was a joke. I couldn't believe it worked. But it didn't spur me to go to look at it. I was in the middle of 911, police and fire. We smoked all night long there. And it just didn't spur me to look at it for healing for myself or as a career. I mean, I was terrible in school. I mean, I was a terrible student. I had terrible grades. I daydreamed all day long. All I could think about was getting out in nature and going to the farm and working hard and sweating and raising animals and doing that sort of thing. And, one of my favorite jokes is me and my brother would go home from school and he'd be, oh, Mom, hey, Mom, here we go. 5 blue stars. And I'd go, yeah, here you go, Mom. And they'd say, call us immediately. And tomorrow's too late. Call us today. Your son is in trouble.
but looking back, I guess now, you realize that obviously you were intended for bigger things, and that's why that you couldn't conform to the school kind of curriculum, the school education. Obviously, you didn't realize it at the time, not consciously, but on a deeper level, you kind of realize this isn't for me. And I guess same accidents, those freak 1,000,001 accidents were the universe's way or the angel's way or whatever else showing you like this just doesn't happen by accident. You're being shown something here. But I guess we don't kind of recognize those things at the time. We're too wrapped up in our own drama, whatever.
We create everything that goes on in our lives. Every single thing that happens, we are we are these mini gods. And, for lack of a better word, I don't know what else kind of words you use, but we are responsible for all of it. And so, it's no different than for me. I wasn't paying attention to what was going on. I believed all the people that said I was dumb and stupid, and you're gonna be nothing when you get older because you're not smart enough to become anything. So that's how you are correct. That's the universe moves around and creates these scenarios for us to learn and to love and to grow. I mean, that's the whole goal of these roads we find ourselves on. These paths are just it doesn't seem easy. Sometimes you're like, oh shit, why is this happening to me? Well, you got to sit back and you got to remember that somehow it's there to teach you something. Yeah. And you are the one that creates it. Every single thing in your life is coming from your thoughts, your beliefs, your your karma. Sure, I'm happy to call it karma. Whatever word works for people. But I truly believe that. And is everything perfect for me now? Oh, everything's fantastic. Right? No, of course not. I got to work every single day on myself. I have to, and I have a big responsibility too, because now I'm teaching and I'm becoming a mentor for people, and the light is very bright on me. The flashlight is, and I like to live up to that. That doesn't bother me. I like that responsibility for, I've always kind of been, I've always kind of been in the driver's seat. I've always kind of been a leader. And even though I was always, wasn't in school, it was outside of school. It was, somewhere else. It probably shouldn't have been, but, it's, that role is okay for me. I don't feel like I've had many mentors, in life. And there's been a few. I've had a surrogate father, and and different people who have come through my life that inspired me, and that said, "Hey, you're brilliant. You what are you kidding me? You should consider this." Or I had a landlady for 5 years that was a surrogate mother and father, and she was amazing. And she is the I owe so much to her and her family for just for her inspiring me every single day. She wouldn't stop. I'd be like, "Would you shut up already, Ida? I'm too hungover to hear that this morning. I have a headache,"
Yeah.
and she wouldn't stop. She just keep pestering me, and so I just thank God for the people that have been in my life that have pushed me to do some of these things.
Yeah, I'm absolutely the same. I don't think there's been too many people. I can probably count on one hand, the people I could turn around and say, I owe a great deal of gratitude to, and probably like yourself, I've pissed away half of my life, before I got into this here. And, even as you turn around and say there, which is a very important point, because I think that people, when you're doing this kind of work, they look up to you and they think that, that person must be, so pious. I think people equate spirituality or the things that we kind of do, the talents and abilities that we have with piousness. They think that because you do this here, you must be perfect. You must be this holy, shiny character. It's not. We still all have our faults. We have our flaws. And I think for me personally as well, even though I'm kind of doing all this kind of stuff, there's still so much stuff that's going on in my life. There's still so much more to grow, so much more crap to deal with. And some of the biggest challenges that are actually coming to my life are happening to me right now. I didn't even know if this interview was going to go ahead in the last day or two. Been struggling to find somewhere to do it, and it's just been hectic. But as you say, ultimately, I know that it's part of my path, it's part of my learning, it's part of my growth, and I will come out of it stronger. And as we were talking about before the show, I'll come out of it a better healer, and I'm willing to learn of people like yourself, in order for me to help become a better healer, because I think that you can't do this type of work without growing and changing yourself, and that is designed to help you help other people even more.
Well, I love your curiosity. I think that's the key to anybody who's considering getting into this kind of field is curiosity. Just being curious, like, I wonder why the hell that didn't work for that person. And this, even last night, I'm in a hotel. I left my disc golf course. I come to town, so I have better internet to do work. And of course, there's, one person out there. She's actually from the UK, and we haven't cracked her code yet. And son of a gun, I can't sleep at night because I haven't figured it out. I don't know what the hell's going on with her. Everybody else is, we all, you help a lot of people and you have a lot of success, but those aren't the ones that keep you awake at night. And that's how it should be. That this keeps you curious, keeps you wondering, keeps you open. If you already know it all, if you're, and I've seen that so much in my field. These people know it all, and it's like you do only what I tell you to, and only study this, and only work with this. And it's just like, okay, I knew I was going to hear that from this guy sooner or later. See ya, goodbye, because it's just it's a mindset that if someone would teach us that more, to come from a space of curiosity, the whole field opens up. If you don't know it all already, the universe gets behind you. It gets behind you and shows you things and helps you with things and opens you. And if you're open, it feeds back to you and it will help you when you're trying to help someone. It's like, we are all truly part of the same thing. Did I lose you? No.
Yeah, but we kind of lost connection there.
Oh, okay.
It's okay.
No problem. Cool.
Back on now.
Well, I was just saying, it's like, it's this feedback.
We need to have more of that. We need to have. I think people are just kind of stuck. They don't want to learn. They don't want to know at the end of the day, and it's so sad, really, because this stuff can help so many people. As we were just talking about before the show went live, everything that we're doing, no matter kind of what it is, whether it's talking, whether it's hands-on, whether it's remotely, whether it's taking a walk in nature, everything is ultimately tied to healing. It's everything. Whether you're going to a shrink, a therapist, a doctor, everything is healing. It's just a different form kind of healing. And a lot of people potentially wouldn't think of, just talking or getting out in nature as healing, but everything is healing. And the more people that begin to realize that, then the more we can kind of wake up and grow then as a collective and move on then together. So but yeah, just to get back to your kind of story. So you went to college and you went to these schools at a fairly, shall I say, an advanced age for most people, and I guess that was to learn chiropractic and stuff, wasn't it?
Chiropractic, yeah. I was 35 when I took my first college class. So that's ancient, for they called me grandpa. I'm like, grandpa, 35, I wipe all you punk kids out, right? And so I played a lot of basketball with them, and it was all fun and games. But looking back, you don't realize that 35 is considered old. I mean, people consider me old at 57, and I feel better now than I did at 25, 30, by far. I mean, I don't know. I have more energy. I feel more clear what I'm doing with my life. I'm happier. I'm still very strong and active, and I still couldn't be a professional disc golfer, unfortunately. So I'm just stuck doing what I'm doing. But college, it was wild. You may have heard this on another podcast. I went in thinking I was going to be a chiropractor who does strictly chiropractic, and it just took a sharp turn left. I think it was the first week I was in school. I literally did a seminar where this old man was teaching, and I go up to him and ask him a question. He goes, "Hold on a second, son." And he kind of looks off in the distance, and he rubs his finger up his arm all the way up to his clavicle, and then he kind of looks back at me and, what was your question? I said, what the hell was that? He's like, "Oh, I was just working on, Nancy in Kentucky, and she had heart murmurs. She called me this morning." And even for me, I ran out of there. I just couldn't wait to leave. I was like, son of a crazy man,
Yeah, that's crazy. Did you, what was I going to say there? I guess, did you think that? Well, you obviously didn't. You ran out of there. Did you ever see him again, or did you ever think,
I did see him again. Yeah, he was older guy. Like I said, I think he was like 92 back then, and I did see him again, but his work just wasn't very powerful. And I kind of went down a different road towards applied kinesiology and muscle testing. And there's another doctor out there named Wally Schmidt, who I really respected. I did a big, long class with him. But I did see that guy again a couple of times. But he literally was just so old, unfortunately. And he was getting seen out to where he just couldn't describe his work clearly and coherently. I still have his manuals. And I actually use one piece of his work out of his manuals. I've done 1,000 studies. That's all I would do, seminar. I was so interested in healing, and so I've had to pull some of these things out that I've learned over the years from some other places. I always give credit if there's credit is due. But there's not much. But I have pulled a number of things. This is universal knowledge. So we all have this knowledge already. So it's not like I had to reinvent the wheel, Sorry, it's probably my internet.
Apologies. No, it's probably mine. The internet's not great here, so I've changed a different connection. We'll soldier through it anyway.
Did you hear the last thing I said about how 99% of the stuff I'm teaching it's universal knowledge? So I didn't, I would never consider taking someone else's work and saying, "Oh, this is my work." But very little of what I teach is from somewhere else. And really the only one who comes to mind is Dr. Alan Bonebreak. And he's allowed me to use some of his stuff that I do on the physical body. When I do the training, I show you how to treat a physical body in front of you. But most of the workshop is for remote healing, because this is where, this way we can go anywhere in the world, help people anytime, any place. And it's just an amazing tool to have.
Yeah, absolutely. I guess that's a very important point. I don't think there's very much in this world that really is new, as per, if you want to call it that. Everything is kind of being discovered, or being reinvented, I guess, to some sort of degree. I think there's very little that's actually kind of new. It just depends the source where it came from, where it came from antiquity, or came from some sort of, well, God only knows. Even the angels or whatever. I'm sure they haven't went, oh, we have a new form of healing to teach you. It's just, I guess, blending in with our kind of current evolutionary state, and probably just given a different name on it. So yeah, I think that's a very important point to make there. So then what would happen then after that? Or how long did you when was it that you started working with the angels, or when did that start taking off then for you?
Angels, what it's kind of a long story. I'll make it really short. I was seeing this woman, and she
No,
had
no,
two.
you can talk as long as you want.
Okay. Well, I saw this woman, and she had two sons, and this was probably 15 years or so ago. She had two sons. She had an asshole and a saint, and she said, "I'm bringing you the asshole first." I said, "Oh, thank you so much." And he wasn't very kind. He was kind of a jerk. I have to agree with her assessment. But we got him fixed up, and she was supposed to come in this day with the saint. Well, she shows up alone. I'm like, "Hey, how's it going?" And she goes, "Terrible. My son, the saint. I can't remember their names. Too many years now. My son, the saint, got hit by an ambulance on his way home from work last night. Is dead, and he came home and woke me up at 4 o'clock this morning and told me, 'Mom, I'm sorry, I'm not coming home. I'm dead.'" And she was very psychic, she was amazing, amazing woman. She found me by walking up and down the street. No one referred her. She came and knocked on my door and said, "Oh, I thought there might be somebody here who's doing healing." I mean, it's like 2 days after I moved into this house in Los Angeles. So, I mean, I was just like, "Okay, come on in." I didn't even have my office wasn't even open yet. It was literally, had just moved in. Bathroom wasn't ready to go yet. Anyhow, so I said, "Well, I am so sorry to hear that." She says, "Yeah, well, he's with me here right now." And I said, "Well, wow, amazing." She said, "Yeah. He tells me that you just don't believe me, that you don't believe he's with me." I said, "Oh, no, I believe you. I've just never met anybody who has a dead son with him still, And she says, "Well, he tells me that the only way you will believe me is if I tell you you have a shotgun wrapped up in a camouflage jacket buried in your basement underneath a bunch of boxes." And it was just like, okay, what does he want me to know? I mean, because no one knew about that. No, but he picked the one thing there's no way anyone could have known about. I mean, he could have said 1,000 other things. I said, anybody could have known that, but not this, because I put it there. My girlfriend didn't want the gun in the house. We had just moved there, blah, blah, blah. So she starts interpreting for him, and he goes right through my life story. He says, "Remember this, remember that, remember that." It was 5 minutes of him reviewing how I got to that house, and how I got to become a doctor, and how I was doing all this stuff, everything. I just couldn't believe it. And then she started talking about how the angels were flying around this house I lived in, and how, as I was working on people using this intent and these different techniques, that their energy, the negative energies, were going out into this. I had 40 acres behind my house that. It was in the middle of Los Angeles. It was a natural preserve. You talk about nature when we first got on here. Mm-hmm. That was part of the healing. That's why they brought me there and got that house for me. I mean, and how we got the house is a freaking miracle. I mean, we didn't even belong. My girlfriend and I stopped across the street, a month before, and we're looking at the city lights, and she's like, "Oh my God, this house is for sale." Well, it already sold, so we did a backup offer, and we offered a way less. We had no money. But the people backed out of the deal, and the owners were absentee owners. They didn't know what was happening up there, and they sold us the house. So anyhow, I'm like, "Well, how do I use them?" And she's like, "Well, he says you just got to call him in. You just got to call him in for healing." I'm like, "Okay." So she packed up and left, and I tried. It just didn't. I tried and tried and tried. It just didn't happen. Nothing happened. Nothing. There was no change in people, and I just wasn't having anything happen. So I kind of forgot all about that. I mean, I didn't even remember this story for a number of years, because it wasn't until I decided to teach that it popped back into my memory banks. Oh my God, I forgot all about that woman with the dead son. Anyhow, fast forward like 6, 7 years, so about 7 years or so ago now, 7, 8 years ago. A woman comes into the office with a book that has a whole our whole a few chapters on angels, and it talked about had a lot of definitions for them, what some do, some don't do. And it had a big long thing about how to call them in, on how to ask them for help.
Right, I was laughing. I just got that vibration over me. They must actually be here right now. They must actually be here right now.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Oh, they're here. Oh, they're here. No, they've been here since we started. I got to work today, but I get lit up as I talk about them.
Yeah, I can see them at the corner.
We'll do a big blast here in a minute for everyone listening and yourself, just so people can feel this. But anyhow, it had this big long thing about, like, you got to sit in a certain, you got to have candles in four corners of the room, and you have to have sage the room, and you got to do this, and you got to do that, and all these things in order to call the angels. And I get done, and she said, "Well, I just want you to do that." So I'm not doing that. Are you kidding me? That's not. It's not going to work for me. I'm sorry. I don't have a white robe. I don't have I don't have sandals. And I said, I'll do it how I would do it. And so I did it how I do it now. And we had a miracle. We had a bona fide right in front of you miracle that it still gives me chills to think that that's how it all started. And I ran out of the office and told my wife, I said, "Oh my God, I can't believe it. This blah, 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 blah." And she was like, "Wow, amazing, Tony. Keep doing it." Well, I kept running out every day for probably 6 months. "Oh my God." And she's like, "Would you shut up? I'm sick and tired of hearing this. It's happening. It's real." And that's part of my training now is, seeing is believing, because you have to see this stuff. Everybody listening has had an angelic experience. We can't see them. So we chalk it up to, "Oh, it's a great coincidence that I didn't get run over by that truck. Oh, great coincidence that I, got a check in the mail, or great coincidence that, but seeing is believing." And then that's what I'm showing in this class. Within the first hour, we're showing a miracle across the room from somebody who's never done any healing at all. And everybody in the class does one. Everybody gets to do one, because that seeing is believing. And once you see it enough, you see it a few times, that grows into faith. And do I have faith? You better believe I have faith. Am I going to blast everyone watching this with a big dose of angels? You better believe it. And they're going to come right through the computer, travel across the universe over there to you, come right through the computer and imbue everyone with this vibration. No question.
Yeah,
no
it
question.
does not. Yeah, this goes beyond physical location. It goes beyond anything. They can be with you at any point, anywhere in the world, at any time. You just have to allow yourself to be open and just feel it. Just allow yourself to feel that love. You honestly will. You may feel a bit fun. What am I feeling? Just relax and feel it. It is amazing, and that's why I laughed there, because I could feel them working on me. I could actually see them at the corners, just to make sure it wasn't something out there. And that's why I just felt, I'm actually feeling it now. They actually want to lift me, me out of the seat. It's a powerful stuff. It's amazing. And you just have to give gratitude and love for it. It really is. I cannot express it enough.
It's such an amazing thing. Have this knowledge and have these at your fingertips. I mean, and like you just said, anywhere, anytime, any place. Tesla said it best, where he said, "As soon as we start studying non-physical phenomena, we will advance science immediately." And I think 2 days ago, I had a woman on who I don't remember where the hell she is. She's in the United States somewhere. But her son-in-law, who I didn't even get his name. My son-in-law lives in, Rochester, New York, and he's having this problem. I'm like, "Oh, okay, let me just take a look." And she goes, "Well, wait a minute. Don't you need his name? You have to know where he is, and you have him on the phone." So you just told me it's your brother-in-law. He's in Rochester. I don't need it. All you have to do is say it's my brother-in-law, and the angels know. I've worked on so many people on the wrong part of their body and had it 100% healed. And I'll be like, "So that was your right leg, wasn't it?" "No, it was my left leg." "Oh, well, shit, I just worked on your right leg. How's it feeling?" "It's gone." "How the hell did they do that?" "Well, I mean, I'm a little sloppy, but thank God I have angels on my side,
It is amazing. I have to say now, angels are only something that have very recently come into my life. Well, all of this has kind of very recently come into my life, because probably like a lot of people, I was kind of asleep for a long time, and then I kind of woke up, and obviously through a lot of different events and traumas, it just, so there's something that have definitely come into my life. Definitely, I don't want to say taking them more seriously, but definitely appreciating them more and trying to work with them more. And I know a lot of people say, "Oh, angels," and I do angel healing and stuff and all the rest of it. But a bit like what you said, I've never come across anyone who uses, that help that's given them in the way that you do. It's incredible. And as I said, just as we were saying there, it's being aware of their presence. I don't particularly see them. Sometimes I'll see kind of colored lights out of this corner of my eye. Sometimes I'll see different colors that maybe represent, that archangel energy. But it's mostly through feeling. It's mostly through feeling. And it is absolutely incredible. And it is something that I want to aspire to work with more and understand more. I guess I'm kind of at a point where you were maybe, all of those years ago. So that's why I'm saying I'm looking forward to availing of your services, if you like.
Absolutely, and it's different for everyone. Some of the people I've trained see them. Absolutely, they're like, "Oh yeah, no, I see them. There's no question." I said, "Awesome." In my training, I leave it wide open. I want, all I'm doing is trying to bring you up to my speed, and then have you move on and get better. I want everyone to get better than me. I need it. A couple of weeks ago, maybe a month ago now, I got slammed surfing. I got just absolutely double slammed. Neck should have been broken probably. I came out of the water and I couldn't move the next day. I could hardly. I mean, I was just knifing both sides of my back, my neck, my throat. And what did I do? I called one of the people who I've trained. And within 20 seconds, I was 100% pain-free walking out to the ocean. This is somebody who I've trained who's been doing it for 6 months now. But it's just somebody who I was just like, I had his number and I've worked on him a lot. And I was just like, dude, I need some help. I am in so much pain. I need some help. And when you're in that much pain, it's hard for you to work on yourself.
Mm-hmm.
But that's what's so beautiful. I mean, for me to experience a miracle like that. I mean, I've experienced other miracles, but this is probably the first miracle I've had experience on my own body. I don't know, in years. And it brought me to tears to think that there's somebody who I trained is now doing it on this level.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's just absolutely heartwarming and just an amazing feeling to and now I feel like, oh, now I can get hurt. I can do whatever. I can start surfing again because I got a guy I can call.
It is incredible. There's a number of things that I wanted to ask you about there. And I guess for me, because I've always kind of wondered to myself, we were talking a lot about healing and a lot about the limitations of modern medicine. And it's not something that I've really tried to apply to myself. I had an accident a number of years ago in which I nearly took off 2 fingers. I severed them right down to the bones. It was only the bones that stopped them coming off. And anyway, went to hospital and they crudely, sewed them back up and stitched them together through operation. And obviously they tell you, you need to do all these exercises. Never fully healed. Left me pretty bad. But it was kind of coincidental because at the time they said to me, 6 weeks, you'll not be able to do anything. You're not allowed to go anywhere. You're not allowed to go out the door. You're not allowed to walk. You damage these fingers again, blah, blah, blah. And I had some 6 weeks. And at the time, I had booked the holiday of a lifetime to go to Peru and to do Machu Picchu, to go down to Bolivia and all that sort of stuff and go to the Amazon jungle. This just cannot be happening. So it's like I planned this all myself. It wasn't a tour company that done it. I'd spent months researching it and planning the itinerary and doing it back to front and researching airlines and how they get from here to here and all that sort of stuff and tour operators. And it was literally like months of work. I was going to go down there for 3 weeks and for them to say, Machu Picchu, the Amazon, you're not even outside your own front door. Never mind that. So I took a week off the job that I was doing at the time and went, no, I don't believe this. No, I do not believe this. I do not believe this. And at the time, I was kind of like into law of attraction and sort of stuff. So I used that kind of power of positive thinking and I said, okay, I'm going to heal these fingers. I'm going to heal these fingers enough that I will be able to be medically allowed to go because, they have to medically release you to fly on a plane and stuff like that. And that's exactly what happened. The fingers were healed enough for me to go there, but when I came back, that belief just kind of evaporated. I couldn't find it within me to manifest that miracle or to have that belief to actually physically repair the fingers. And it's kind of been even as being a kind of a healer of some description. I've just always wondered about the limitations, of this here. But surely there has to be some method of repairing the rest of that damage that was done. I just can't believe that that's it. There's nothing else that can be done about that.
Well, there are some limitations to matter, unfortunately. There are some times that things are so mangled and kachangled that there's just limitations, Well, what fingers are they?
Them two kind of fingers there. It's just
if you get on the pinky there and squeeze right on the knuckle, let's see, squeeze right on the knuckle and squeeze side to side. Is that tender?
No, it's scar tissue. It's a whack of scar tissue.
Okay, so you go all the way back. None of it's tender, not even nowhere.
The very little feeling in that pinky. The nerves damaged.
Okay, and then go to the next finger. Is it? And there's no tenderness at all.
No.
Okay, fantastic. So it's more of a numbness, nerve damage.
Yeah.
Let me just look at it for you really quick here. So you've done a really good job healing this, first of all. Are you kidding me? The idea that you have that and it's not painful is absolutely mind-blowing. So first of all, give yourself a pat in the back for what you've done, because it's really a lot better. But it looks like I can help open some of that up for you. And
wow.
Yeah, we can do I'll just do a quick little tuning on it for you. And we'll just see if we can't just get a little bit of that out of there for you. And then what we can do is we can do a nervous system healing. That what we do is I just use angels and we have them direct more pluripotent stem cells down there to get that nerve healed. That's a peripheral nerve that you can restore the. You can fix any nerve in the body. They're wrong about cranial nerves, but for sure, peripheral nerves we know can heal. For sure. So let's just have you kind of recheck it and just see how it's feeling. May or may not be changes. It's definitely heated up, so something's happening down there.
There does seem to be more movement. They're not straight, but there does seem to be more movement in them.
Should for sure. Just give me another moment here, because I don't see angels, but I feel heat and I feel congestion, and so I feel, especially on the ring finger right now, that is lighting up really hot. So we're wiping out some scar tissue or something. I don't know what the hell it is, but I didn't find infection. And when you find infection on an old injury like this, that is painful. You'll squeeze it, it'll be painful. So that's why I'm like, well, whatever you did, it really helped it. So you don't have residual pathogens, but it feels like it's mostly scar tissue or something.
I can feel that heat.
Yeah, that's heating up nice and warm here. So let me just follow that up your arm a little bit. And we're just going to ask these angels to start flooding that with these pluripotent stem cells, so they can change into any cell. We want them to change into axonal cells so that we have some neurogenesis down there and restore that normal feeling. Even if we get some feeling back, is better than none. So now I'm back on your pinky, and that's now heating up better. So what happens is when you start working with angels, you start figuring out how to modulate them. You might feel the heat in that pinky now. Feel that?
Yeah. Actually, yeah.
Yeah. So I'm modulating them to kind of wipe out the scar tissue and any poisons on the tissue that can be causing stiffness. Oh, here's a new one. There's something. Here we go. Now I'm onto something. I don't know what the hell this is, but it's something because it's hot. I don't care. If I feel it, I know it's happening. I know we're going to have some magic here. So let me just clean all that up for you. It's an older injury. It takes a little while. It's a little denser, so it takes a little bit.
It does feel more free. It really does.
It should feel different. You can send me $50 for that one. Usually I charge $100, but
I'd be happy.
Should feel quite a bit different. Now what the other thing you can do later is, let's see, how can I get this on the film? Okay, so here's my Jesus Christ, Tony. Okay, so here's my pinky. So your pinky is tend to be bent like this, right? So you can come underneath where it's bent at, and you can take another finger and you can claw it like that and straighten it out, or you can force straighten it out while you can take like a knife, like a butter knife or something underneath there. And same thing with this one, that it's bent like that. So what you want to do is get underneath there and then straighten it out while you're peeling back those tissues from the joint itself. And you want to go right into the joint and get those fibers right against the joint. And now that I'm doing this to you, see, I'm doing this to you right now. Yeah, you don't have to do it right now. You do this later.
Okay.
I'm doing this to you. You with me?
Yeah.
You feel that? Crazy, right? So I'm going to do the pinky again. Yeah, here we go. Now, just hold your hand up like that towards the camera. There we go. Let's just... There you go. Try that.
That definitely feels a lot more sense.
I think you're lying for the camera. I don't believe him, people. Don't believe him.
I actually do, because that finger is normally numb, and there's definitely more. There's more movement.
Yeah.
There's more movement. They definitely feel more free. They're not straight, but that's okay. But there's more feeling in those.
But now, and now you kind of know what to do. You can take a thumb. You can take your thumb from your other hand and put it in there, and then press down on a surface to open that finger up, and you just get in there and dig right off that joint. And now you have the method that you can completely fix these on your own. You don't need to, this will be gone. Just do that a couple of times a day for 5 days, and that'll be really different.
Yeah, look, listen, you know what? For anyone watching this here, do not be expecting, oh my God, this is not Jesus Christ who's going to miraculously things. As Dr. T says, there's limitations of matter. You can't see this, but my fingers do feel a lot freer. The scar tissue normally inhabits me. I can't really bend them. I don't really feel a lot of feeling, but they definitely do. They do feel a lot freer. They do feel a lot more happier. If you want to sit down.
So let's do one more thing really quick, and let's do this for everybody, for you included. So get a sense of, how much better are they? 20%, 30%, 10%?
Probably about 20 to 30%. Probably more towards 30%. Probably like 30%.
In my book, that's a miracle in my book, because when you get 30% back, and it's a big deal. People, it's not a miracle. It's like, yeah, folks, I'm not walking on water yet, but just give me some. Give me a few more months.
Like using them fingers. I don't even like using them because they're damaged, but I definitely feel they're a lot more free. Can manipulate things.
See, and now they can heal. You'll see. Now you'll have blood flow. Let me do one more thing on them, just in case I missed anything. Let me do one more. Let's do one more thing here for you, really quick here. Oh, yeah. I don't know how I didn't get this last time. Sorry. The angels are a little lazy today. I am a little tired. Oh, here we go. So I'm actually treating your whole body. And then I finish off with your hands. And did we get a little more out of there, or is it the same?
I would say there's a slight improvement.
So we're at 21%. We'll say 21%.
Yeah, I can.
Yeah, isn't that wild? But see, that'll be the reason I did that is because that's going to really help heal them over the next few days. That's going to be the future healing. But let's do this.
That energy travel. I can feel it in my legs traveling up.
Oh, I did. Yeah, I did. I just treated your whole body, your entire circulatory system.
Wow.
Isn't that wild? It's just a vibration. It's just a vibration. Yeah. It's an angel. It's actually a group of angels. We define two groups of angels in my class. They do very, very specific but different things. And I go through, when I have like the first group, I'll go through and I show you each thing that they do to the human body. And so once you understand each thing, then you can use all of them at once. But you have to kind of see it to believe it, and then this is how it works. And then the other group does something different. So I use two different types on you. In fact, we could probably can we get a little more out of there right now? No, I think we've got most of that. We're going to get more with this. We're going to get more with this next thing we're going to do. And we're going to do this for everybody, so everybody can feel this. Okay.
I can feel it already.
Oh, like I said, they've been here hanging out. They're like, yeah, You know, this is just how it is. Okay, so we'll have everybody, including yourself, just take a breath in and breathe out and just kind of relax your mind. And then we'll do that one more breath in. And as you breathe out, just really relax into the chair, whoever you are, wherever you're at. And the reason I do this is because it does seem to work better when the mind is slightly relaxed. And now what we're going to do is you're going to bring to mind where your heart is in your body. So you'll picture it in your mind, and you'll fill it with compassion for yourself. That's right, compassion for yourself, that sympathy and empathy for yourself, right? That care and concern, that sensitivity, tenderheartedness, that soft-heartedness towards yourself, that warmth, warm-heartedness. You know, we tend to be really hard on ourselves, just really feeling that tenderness and gentleness in our hearts. Really focus your mind and feel this vibration. So I talk to you because your mind will wander off. But what you're experiencing are angels. And these are angels that love us. They remind us to have mercy and leniency for ourselves, tolerance for ourselves, kindness, having kind-heartedness towards ourselves. And then I'm going to have you move your mind over to that recognition and enjoyment of the good qualities of yourself. Again, right in the center of your heart. Now, I've just met you today, but I love your curiosity, your enthusiasm. And these are good qualities. These are things to value, things to respect. You know, you go down a different path when there's too many people on one. I prize that sort of thing. Things that we cherish. You know, we do things because we're good people. We want to be good people, and we do things. We're not waiting for a trophy. You do it because it's the right thing to do. These are things to treasure. These are things to admire about ourselves. To have hold in high regard, have a high opinion of. Really fill your heart with that appreciation, and for one more moment, you see all the blood in the body flows through the body in 1 minute, and that's what we're doing. I'm just using angels right into your heart with your intention on your heart to remind you of the gratitude, the gratefulness and thankfulness for who you are and who you've become in life. And a little breath in and a little breath out. And now let's have you recheck your hand. I mean, you're the only one we're talking to, so it's the only way we can tell if there's any change, but all the blood.
There's another one person live, but again, this thing transcends time. It doesn't matter whether it's live or not. They can come to you in what we call the past or whatever. It doesn't matter. That them fingers almost feel like two normal fingers, like a part of my body. I can barely tell the difference between them now. Just the pinky, just the tip of the pinky where it's most sensitive. But I can tell you now that those fingers feel unity.
Yeah, and the angels. So one of the things that happens is you start working with them. One of the things I teach is this clairaudience, and this is kind of like what we've talked about, like when you just get the idea, you get a thought, you're like, I wonder if that's real, you know. And so they're telling me, yeah, there's something I missed here, and that's a morphic field work. And so I'm going to bring the angels back in one more time for those fingers, and we're going to remind those fingers that they are now part of your whole body. Because when you have this kind of damage to fingers, the body will say, I can't deal with you right now. You're not part of me. And let's have you take a little breath in and a little breath out. And do we get 1 more %? That was fast.
Absolutely. Yeah. That's incredible to go from where their fingers were to it's like the prodigal sons of my hand. You know, the feeling like these, disease kind of thing, feeling like they're part of a family again. That's the only way I can describe it.
Yeah, so that's all Rupert Sheldrake's work, and I just took his work and used the angels for it, because the angels they'll come into your mind and be like, hey man, you didn't really focus on that, and even you, Doc, need to remember you got to have all of these things in your mind when you're working on somebody. I'm my worst. I work on, when I teach the class, I'm always like, well, this is the first thing you do. And gosh darn it, I forget to do this all the time. And because, you get, It's just how it is. But that was the last thing, was to remind your mind and your body and your spirit that these are part of you, because the body will create what's called there's different names for it, but it's like a regional fault, or a systemic fault somewhere. Like if you break a leg and it's always hurting, it's just because the body's been like, that leg's hurt. I can't save it, so I'm just going to ignore it. So that was the last thing we did, and just to have all of that is like, it really changes
it absolutely does. It really is incredible. I know seeing is believing. Probably a lot of people, yeah, right on. But look, all I can say, it worked for me. If you have any doubt, I think you have a program where, excuse me, if you turn around and say, look, if it doesn't work for you, do you have your money back? So
yeah,
what?
Yeah, I do. Yeah, yeah, that's yeah. Who does that?
Yeah. Who does that?
Yeah,
what have
I'm
we got
doing
to
this.
lose?
Yeah, we're doing if you need help and you want my help, you have to come to the programs, because the program's the only way I can reach people anymore. I'm too busy. I have over 1,000 active clients. Who the hell can take care of that many people? You just can't. Rotating them through even every 3 months, you do the numbers. That's just impossible for me to take more people just one-on-one. So we created this program, Crazy Unknown Shift, and I get 15 people on for 1 hour a week for 4 weeks. If you don't like it after the first hour, we give you your money back. And there's no healer on the planet, and I don't call myself a healer. I'm a human engineer. And that wasn't my name either. A client gave me that name. I wanted to make sure that's clear out there. I have some people like, he's a self-proclaimed human engineer. And I'm like, no, I'm not. Somebody else gave me that name. And I like the name. I couldn't believe he gave it to me all those years ago.
It's catchy. It really is.
Yeah, it's very good. And he's out there. I just worked on him and his mother not too long ago, and love him. And all my clients are my extended family. But these programs, so what we do is we do about a half hour of kind of what you and I just did, what we just did here. Whatever the angels tell me to do, I do it for everybody. And then everyone gets a couple of minutes individually, so I can start listening to what's going on with that individual person while everyone else is looking. And so you not only get the healing, you kind of learn how to heal. Because I'm saying, hey, this is what I'm finding. This is where I want your focus, because the act of observation changes the outcome of an experiment. So everyone gets a couple of minutes of individual time, and I'm limiting at 15 people. This way, everybody, first of all, I want everybody to get better. This last program we did, it was an 80% success rate. Now, that's not bad. Out of 15 people, and we had some crazy stuff. We had one woman who, they've had an undiagnosed UTI infection, kidney infection, liver infection, gastrointestinal infection. They didn't know what was wrong with her. 9 of 10 pain for 6 months, all kinds of doctors, all kinds of stuff. 9 of 10 pain on her sacrum, all kinds of weird stuff. I traced all of it back to epidural shots that she got when she was in birth, and we fixed it. That's just, this is what we do. And I don't, she's been to everybody, thousands of medications, thousands of everybody, acupuncturists, everybody. And we fixed it in this program. We finished it off the last day. It took a little bit. I'm not, it wasn't this is gone, which I love that this is gone, but sometimes it takes a little bit to peel away some of these layers. And you can imagine the emotional affect. You're 6 months and you're a vibrant young woman with a 2-year-old child. You can't even hardly get out of bed without being, your pain nonstop. The emotional affect from that kind of thing. Some of these things, like just like you with this hand. You still have a lot of emotional affect around that. You should get on one of these. Check out my website. It's ahumanengineer.com. I'm doing these free calls, and on these free calls, we're kind of simulating the program. And so I'm doing global healing on everyone on these calls. Yes, it's an advertisement. Yes, I want to fill my class. Yes, I have to sell stuff. Unfortunately, I don't, and my people do. If it was my way, you wouldn't even have known who I am. The reason I'm here is because of my clients. They are the ones who push me to put together these programs, to develop a class, to teach them. They've all taken my class, the ones who were really rude about me teaching. If it was up to me, I would just be on my course treating the people who I've already had. This has never been a goal of mine, but now I realize that we might be here to save this damn planet. All of us.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to sit back and not have a hand in that. If that's why we're here, if that's why I'm here to do this teaching, these trainings, and these programs to help people, get them to heal, hopefully spark something in them to help others and do other things, then, this is a huge opportunity for us. And I'm pretty sure that's what's going on.
Absolutely. And we were talking about this just before the interview went live, about kind of finding our roles in life, being pushed into service, into things that we initially would have went, no way, that's not for me. I don't want no part of that. But, it is, unfortunately, we live in a monetary system at the minute, and we need money to support ourselves and to buy goods and to advertise and create these programs and stuff like that. So unfortunately it's just a necessary evil, if you like, money and having to charge for things. But also, this stuff needs to be got out there. Healing is so utterly vital, so utterly important, so utterly fundamental to the human experience that it needs to be out there. It needs to be shared, especially even in the 21st century, or whatever, 2022, where we still are so embroiled and so intertwined and ensnared with big pharma, whose only ambition is to make money and keep you sick. When so many people go to their doctors with some sort of condition or emotional or some sort of pain, and they're simply prescribed there's antidepressants, or go and take those tablets and just be numbness, be brainless, and just be kind of a zombie. There's a better way out there. There are better modalities, and you're a large part of this. And so what you're doing needs to be advertised. It needs to be shared, and it needs, obviously, as you turn around and say now, it has grown bigger than you. It has so many people seeking your services now that you cannot physically treat them all. And that's why that you have these amazing programs that you're now training people from all walks of life. I believe you're even treating medical practitioners, who are overwhelmed and blown away by this stuff. Yeah. People who are open to what you're doing.
Yeah, I want to encourage anyone listening to definitely go to my website and plug in your email, because there's a recording on there called Relax to Heal. It's completely imbued with angels. It's not advertised, but I'm telling you, your people, it's imbued with angels. It's 20 minutes long. It will change that recording will change. Is worth signing up for. There's the heart resonance technique that I just did. There's a recording of what we did with the heart thing. That's on there. It's all free. And then there's a lymph video. You may have to look around a little bit. I don't even know what's on my website. I mean, I don't have time for any of that stuff. But the top left corner, I did see that is the link for free calls. You have to plug in your email and go on there and get the free stuff, folks. Grab my free stuff and then unsubscribe. I don't care. But get these things that'll help you heal. I mean, what the heck? I wish I had these things years ago. I have 40 hours in the studio making that 20-minute recording. We have a couple of recordings that are for sale on there. I don't care if you buy them or not. But this one's free, and the lymph massage is free, and the heart resonance technique is free, and these calls are free. And I can't guarantee I'm going to pick you for the individual part of these free training calls for healing, but I can guarantee you will get healing, because I do this group stuff. It's absolutely amazing, and a lot of it's getting better and better. Yeah, and a lot of graduates come on these group calls, and so I have sometimes 5, 7, 8, 10 people who are all focused on healing everyone on these free free calls. Yes, it's an advertisement for my class. I'm sorry, you'll have to listen to maybe 2 minutes of sales. That's it. I'm the biggest skeptic, and I hate freaking calls when, it's an information call about this new supplement, or this doctor's doing his technique. And guess what? You don't get nothing but sales. You don't get any healing. I'm not interested in that. I want people to get better. And you come on to these calls, I guarantee you'll feel something. One of the craziest things that's going on that science is just figuring out, but I've been doing this for 15, 16 years. I've discovered this is a lot of these mental, emotional things are pathogens, are gastrointestinal tract pathogens. The crap goes up to the brain and clouds the brain. So what happens is you have a receptor for dopamine, and you have crap from a pathogen that comes in and fills up that receptor, fills it all the way up. Well, I'm looking at the camera, I can't even tell with my own hands. Fills up the receptor. All of a sudden, all you have left, where the hell's that finger? Here's the finger, is one receptor for dopamine. This is all crap from bacteria, molds, fungi, yeast, candida, all kinds of stuff. especially when people are like, oh, I've been depressed my entire life, then I know that we're going to have success with you. And that free call, I will fix that. I will fix that on most people, including anxiety. Unfounded anxiety is another one that I know comes from mom and dad or grandma and grandpa. And we fix all that stuff in these calls. And you don't have to do a program and pay me or see me. I do that for free. So please come on and check some of that stuff out.
Brilliant. Tell us, because I know that it's obviously not just the angels, but you involve, which I don't really know enough about, quantum mechanics or quantum physics, or
You know all about that. You know about that stuff. It's law of attraction. You look at something, it collapses quantum potential, and it becomes something. It becomes something. So the act of observation changes the outcome of an experiment. So as I'm looking at your hands, light particles are collapsing, and they're vibrating because they're imbued with angels. So that's how. So we use applied. I call it applied quantum mechanics. So we use that to figure out what's going on. So that's what I did when I leaned forward. I was using my hands to do testing that I show you in my class. I was testing. I was looking at your fingers, going, hey, what's in there? And as I'm looking remotely, even though I don't even see your fingers, I can just imagine I'm seeing them, and I'm asking you questions from the universe, from consciousness, from you. I think I don't know who the hell's giving me answers. But my intention is that you somewhere in your field know what's going on in those fingers. And so I just immediately went to I immediately went to pathogens, because that's what I find just drives us absolutely. Things that won't heal, I find pathogens are it's where I always start. And I couldn't find anything. I was like, well, look again. Hey, look again. Shine some light on there, and then look again. Wow, that's why I was so impressed. I was, wow, no pathogens. Okay, so what the hell is it? And I got toxins, scar tissue, physical matter, and so that's what I treated, because that's what the universe said. That's what the universe said. Hey, this is what the problem is, and so I then bring the angels in to do the healing. Are you with me?
it really is. It is incredible. I hate to keep it. I know probably anyone watching this here, even at a later date, will see me constantly doing it. But that's because I really do genuinely feel an improvement in my fingers, as we were talking about. It is incredible. And as I keep saying, or as you keep saying, like, go on, try this here, take an hour of it. If you don't like it, then you'll get your money back. But, I kind of proof of it. And as Dr. T has that much confidence in his programs that it will work for you. You will have you will get something out of it. You'll not even ask for your money back.
Yeah, no one's going to ask for their money back, because you aren't going to see this and sign up and not expect it to work. Because if you see me on here and know about you, I can already tell you the universe is going to, it's going to work. No one asked for the money back from the last 3 programs. So that's over 100 people. And I can't wait for somebody to ask for it back. I'm happy to send it back. Because if it doesn't work for you, it's okay. Something else out there will. It's just that I am not quite walking on water. I am close. I promise you. I still sink like everyone else. I can barely swim. But in all seriousness, you don't find me by accident. And all these other people who have come to my training, have come to these programs. Everybody is getting something, and we didn't get rid of all of it on everybody. A lot of the people who did the last program are doing another one. The programs are filling up. I'm expanding them, because we're going to need to open up more space for people. But it really is such a blessing to be able to do these, and it's an honor. And it's just so humbling. It's just so. I don't know how. I don't really have the words for it. It literally comes close to bringing tears to my eyes, because I've been there. I've been sick. I felt like I've been through hell, and walking people through hell and getting them back and getting them out of my office, getting them out and not coming back for 6 or 8 months is truly what I want. I don't want to see you. I want you out living your life and helping other people and having that full expression of life that we all came here for. We've just toxified this place so much. We've got such bad foods. We've got such bad messaging. Technology is a two-way, double-edged sword. It's not what we all think it is. It's not all yummy and beautiful. There's so much programming coming at us now. Humans are changing. We are changing. There's all kinds of things happening behind the scene, and that has created ill health. I mean, my profession is sick. Everybody is sick, and it's sad to see, because it doesn't have to be this way. We can help a lot of people, and a lot of people. We can exponentially start turning this back around for people, and please come join me.
Absolutely, and without getting into anything that could potentially have this interview struck off, anything, we're currently living through a pandemic at the minute, where obviously there's a lot of talks of vaccinations, which is fair enough at the end of the day, but I guess it's kind of the thing that we were talking about modern science and medical science, how they're only fixated on one thing, and there are other forms of healing out there, folks, that we can't really get into without potentially, if you're not too sure about taking a vaccination, and with all of the talk about the mistrust on that, there are other things out there, even if you've potentially had a vaccination and potentially are potentially have some issues around it. All I can say is there are avenues out there. There are other healing modalities out there that can help with that, shall we say, in regards to that.
I'm really sorry, but I do have to go, unfortunately.
Absolutely.
It's been a true joy meeting you. This whole thing has been a lot of fun, and I can't wait to see you. Please come on one of my free calls and check it out. See what else I'm doing, and love to hang out at some point.
Yeah, absolutely. Let me just put this comment on. There's Breach, who has Archangel Raphael around her all the time. She definitely feel the presence of him. Yeah, absolutely. Dr. T, I could talk to you all day. I've no idea how long this interview has been running for.
Let's do it. Let's do it again sometime. Reach out to me. Please do. I would love to. I would love to do more healing for people. I mean, I'm totally. This is what it's what I do. I mean, this is fun. It's Please reach out and let's do that.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for suggesting that. I'm absolutely, truly honored, and I would really love to work with you again as one healer who's starting out on their journey, talking to a healer who's very experienced, and two kind of healers together, and we can spread that healing out into the world. And there's so much more that I didn't get to ask you about in this interview, but absolutely, let's do it again. And I guess I just want to ask the most kind of important question to me before you go is, how on earth do you get such a head of hair like yours?
Don't cut it.
That's the secret.
Yeah. Don't let a barber anywhere near you. That's how you get hair like this.
Right. That's the secret. I've still so much to learn of you, not just for eating. Dr. T, thank you so much. It's been an absolute honor. I can't overstate the importance of the work that you're doing. I can't overstate the how much healing that I've found from this. There you go. I've got Bree John, who I know very well, who is a lady who has always felt the presence of Archangel Raphael around her, who is very, very blessed to feel angels. And there, once again, she's come out and actually verified that she's felt the presence of angels. Folks, do you need any more, truth, faith, belief in this here? Please do go and avail of Dr. T's services. Go and take up one of his courses. I intend to do so too, so that we can all kind of do this. But with that, Dr. T, thank you so much. I appreciate you and I appreciate your time. And I'll be in contact again.
Absolutely. Thank you so much again. It was a lot of fun. I definitely want to come back.
Absolutely.
And I'm sorry I got to run. I got a whole bunch of people waiting on me.
I appreciate that. I have no idea how long this interview's been running.
Yeah, it's okay. And like you said, we could talk for hours. I love sharing this knowledge. I mean, I don't like talking about myself. I prefer sharing the knowledge. Yeah. I'll tell you, come on with these free calls. If you're into healing and learning, you'll just be like, okay, that's what he's doing. I mean, I'm happy to. I love having people on these free calls. I think we had over 50 people on there a couple of calls ago. So the more the merrier. We're all looking at people, all looking at one another to heal. It's pretty cool. All right, I got to run. Big love. Take care.
Thank you so much. All the best. Have a blessed day.
You too.